This is a lower body knee focus session that I'm currently doing at the moment. And the beauty about the knees over toes guy and ATG system principles is that I'm using this for athletic performance gains and get my first dunk this year. However, I also use the same framework to recover from my MCL knee injury, and I use the same template for a lot of my clients recovering from knee issues. Each exercise is scaled to different levels. Starting the session by warming up with backwards walking. You can do this on the treadmill or by using the backwards sled. I have roughly about 50% of my body weight on the sled, and it's not so much about the weight, more so what we're chasing. I'm chasing a 10 out of 10 burn on my knees, which signals that there's a lot of blood flow going to the knees. Why is that important? Well, the blood flow helps to promote the healing. It helps get vital nutrients and fluids into the knee, as well as every step we're taking, our knees are over our toes. So it's like we're getting like hundreds, if not hundreds of small knee extensions. This helps strengthen up the knee itself, as well as strengthen the VMO muscle, which is one of the main muscles that helps stabilize the knee. Looking for roughly 10 lengths up and back usually takes me in around 5 minutes. And every length, I'm picking up the pace a little bit more. Toe, heel. Heel is underneath the hips. For the last few lengths, I'm shuffling to really pump the knees. It's not only good for getting blood flow and strengthening the knees, but also for the feet, the ankles, the lower limbs, as well as getting some cardio and conditioning in. And the lower you go, the more of an athletic position we're in, which can transfer to many sports. Now, take it upstairs. So next, we're continuing with one of the main principles of the ATG system. So, strengthening from the ground up. We're training the front of our ankles here, the shins, the tibialis anterior. I'm using a Tib-Bar. I'm doing as is my usual session. So I would just put 20 kilos here. I've gotten built up to this. I'm going to show you a regression now, but this is what I do. So I do usually 2 sets of this. All the way down. Aiming for at least 15 reps. All the way down. All the way up at the top. 10. I like a little bit of a gap from my ankle to my shin. Even that's a little bit too big. I'm going to move down a little bit more. Hands on side like so. 12. Over, hands on the hips, toes all the way down and up. And at the start, I was struggling to hit 25 reps of these. It took me a while. Eventually, over time, I was able to do 25 reps continuously. Then I progressed to slant board tib raises, where we're getting more range of motion, feel it a lot more. So why I'm using these as part of my lower body session, my main mission to dunk the basketball this year is, will these directly improve my dunking or help me dunk? No. But where I did feel them was when I was doing a lot of max jump attempts up against the rim, my right shin was starting to give me bother. That's my planting leg. So I know I don't stay on top of these, well, I'm not going to be able to max jump, or it might stop me from jumping completely, you know, if my shin splints, if it turns into shin splints. So the amount of force that goes through your lower limbs, so your tibs, and we'll go into the calves as well, especially for the likes of your jumping, your changing direction. If they're not strong enough, well, injuries can happen, and or you won't be able to handle and produce as much force. Once you get comfortable with the slant board tib raise, where you can do 20, 25 reps, no bother, that's when I progress to the Tib-Bar. I'm pairing the tib raises, the front of the ankle with the back of the ankle, here the calves, the soleus in particular, by using the bent knee calf raise. I have a regression I'm going to show you in a second, but what I'm doing at the moment is weighted bent knee calf raises, using this setup here. So having a safety squat bar, you can have a normal bar with padding, having a rack, a slant board to get more range of motion, and then a bench. So fairly straightforward to set up. So have the slant board in like so, have the bench upwards. I've 84 kilos on the bar, so just above my body weight. Have the knees in under like so. So the gym doesn't have a seated calf raise machine. So this is what I found the next best alternative, all the way down with the ankles. Looking for around 15 reps. 9. Really good for strengthening the Achilles. A lot of lads have reported this has helped fix their plantar fasciitis as well. 5. As well as giving better protection, as it says, above the joint, so around the knee. And then re-rack it, one knee like so. A good regression to the loaded seated calf raise is the bent knee calf raise up against the wall, popularized by knees over toes guy. And so your knees are bent, start with 2 legs, upper body's nice straight, the hips are pushed forward, putting 2 fists against the wall, not putting all your weight on, just put as little weight as possible. So bent knee, so the knees are over the toes. You shouldn't be able to see your toes. The only thing that moves up and down is your ankles. So heels down, up, toes, the ankles are down, up. Working towards 25 reps. Once you can get 25 reps comfortably, then go single leg. So 1 leg at a time. Up and down. Once you can hit 25 reps on that, add weight. So we're hitting the deeper calf muscle, the soleus, as well as the Achilles. And the seated calf raise machine is the gold standard because you can load it up more. The soleus can handle, the soleus is one of the strongest pound for pound pulling muscles in the human body. So in essence, it can handle a lot of force. So especially if you play a lot of high impact sports where there's a lot of sprinting and jumping, that has to be super strong. So this is a great starter and you can get a great burn, but it's not the same effect as loading up on a calf raise machine or having the DIY version. So that's why personally, for my goals, I like having the DIY version. I can put, you know, body weight more on it and I'm getting that progressive overload. But for someone, a lot of my clients, when I was recovering from my own knee injuries, this can do the job for most people. So next we have is the Poliquin Step-Up, named after legendary strength coach Charles Poliquin. He uses part of his knee rehab program for many of his athletes. So the setup I have is 6 inches, and I have a wedge, so heel elevation, that allows more knees over toes, and it puts more pressure on the knees. I'm using this, I've 80 kilos on the bar, and I'm using this not just for the knee benefits, but also to help me improve my jump ability, as this strengthens the knee in the top quarter position, similar to jumping. So keep my hips pushed forward, opposite legs out straight, toe pointed out. And I aim for at least 10 reps with this. If I have to take little mini breaks with the other opposite leg, that's fine, but I should be able to control the weight and pause as best I can. 8, 9, 10. But it didn't start here, and it certainly didn't start with this weight when I was recovering from my MCL knee injury. I started from flat ground, just my body weight, using hand support. Small little steps. Once that felt good, I started to use the wedge. Get a little bit more knees over toes, small bit more strengthening of the knee. When that felt good, I worked up 2 inches assisted, 4 inches assisted, up to 6 inches. Still using assistance. Once I could do 6 inches, 20 reps each side, I worked back down, started unassisted. So now I'm controlling, putting all, the knee is taking all my weight, and that has to stabilize and control. Once that felt comfortable, 20 reps each side, I work back up, so 2 inches. Once I got 20 of those, comfortably 4 inches. Once that felt good, once I got 20 reps there comfortably, then I started to add weight. I added weight using dumbbell and progress. Once I could get 20 reps each side, progress with the barbell. One of the reasons that this exercise is very effective is it's a joint dominant exercise movement, meaning that the knee, the internal structures of the knee, so likes of your ACL, your patella tendon, are getting a lot of work here. It's directly strengthening them, as well as the main knee stabilizer muscle, which is the VMO. So it's a great way to strengthen the knee itself, as well as the muscles that help stabilize it. Some of the issues that you have with this is that people starting too high too soon or adding weight too soon. So start with the slow progressions I just outlined there and take your time with it. So next we have is ATG Split Squat, and this sequence follows one of the main principles ATG system, which is going from short range of motion to long. So we start with backwards walking, then we went to step ups, which had further knees over toes, and now we have the ATG Split Squat that has greater knees over toes. So it's preparing the joints to handle the greater stresses. And what I love about the split squat is that we're strengthening, we're correcting any imbalances, we're helping to open up the hips, and it helps us prep then for the next exercise coming. So I then just have light enough weight here for me, which is 10 kilos each side, and just going 2 sets of 10 reps, just getting the legs and knees nice and ready for the following exercise. I didn't start there, and many of my clients will have, their knees wouldn't be ready for that depth, for flat ground, whether it's mobility or strength or both. So use this device here, the mobility box. If you don't have this, just use a high box, a plyo box. 2 broomsticks is fine. Let's start. As much front foot elevation as you need. The front foot can be flat, which you're not going to get as much knees over toes, which is fine at the start, because you may not want as much pressure on the knees to begin with. Holding the pose takes the weight off, keeping the back leg straight. Once that feels good, start adding the wedge, and that'll give you a little bit more knees over toes. Again, keeping the hands assisted. Once that feels good, we can lower the box, lower the height, so into here. Again, keeping that back leg nice and straight. Hamstrings are covering the calves. Going all the way to flat ground. You can still use assistance if you need to, but working towards unassisted. Next, we have the main strength block in today's session. So have front squats with Nordics. Front squats, I'm using them to help me get that dunk. There's numerous studies. It's quite clear in how the front squat in particular has a high transfer to the likes of jumping and sprinting. Poliquin used that as one of his 3 main predictor lifts for explosive power. So he had the front squat, he had the power snatch and incline press, and he was able to predict the speed and the athleticism of his elite athlete. So front squat for athleticism is my number 1 for strength wise, and for knee protection it's held as many as the Holy Grail. Poliquin was a big proponent of deep squats, whether it was front or back, for adding an extra layer of protection to the knees. These, for most people, come at a later date, deep squats. I'm using the front squat here, more tension, more load on the knee and the quads, which I'm trying to build up. And this is I'm in a athletic hypertrophy, athletic muscle building block. So I'm just focused more so on time under tension and reps rather than lifting heavy weight. So I'm going to go 6 reps with 4 seconds lowered, 1 second pause at the bottom. So, can definitely go a little heavier the next set. It was a little bit of a challenge, but I'll throw on 2.5 kilos each side and slowly build. Once I can't get 6 reps comfortably, I stay at that way. For many people, especially starting out with fragile knees, Squats are for a later date. It's something to work towards. Stick with the split squats until you get comfortable with flat ground split squats, and then progress with deep squats, whether it's assistance, body weight, then using the likes of a dumbbell, and then working towards a barbell on front. So we're pairing the front squats with Nordics. These strengthen the knee when it's flexed, like so. And Charles Poliquin famously said, one of the secrets to jumping high is being strong in that knee flexion position. So the Nordics help train that ability. Also, you've a lot of athletic transformation outliers, like Jonathan Edwards was written off as an athlete growing up as a triple jumper. His triple jump record, world record, still stands today. Alan Marcelletta, one of the slowest kids growing up on his team, his NFL draft was off the charts, to name but a few. So the Nordic was one of the main exercises in the program. I've built up where I can do 10 reps up and down, relatively easy, all right? So what I'm doing now is I can keep trying to get add-on reps, but I want to progressively overload. I want to challenge my hamstrings under that knee flexion position. So now I'm working on that single leg Nordic. So in this phase, I'm just focusing on the accumulating a lot of time under tension. So I'm just aiming to lower myself in 10 seconds each side. That was a little bit quick, but that's what I'm aiming for. After every rep, I switch legs. I basically do 5 reps on each side, aiming for trying to fight it down. So 5 reps each side. I'll go back in to do a front squat, might take a little bit of a breather depending how I'm feeling. I'll do 5 rounds of this. So set of squats, 5 reps, Nordic each leg, and back to squats. Now, starting out with Nordics, definitely didn't start doing these. It took me almost 2 years to get a full up and down Nordic. So I progressed basically 2 feet, 2 legs, and just going to here, controlling the eccentric. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and just working on the time. Then it was lowering the height. And then getting to a stage where I was going all the way down. And I was just focusing on that eccentric, just building up the tolerance. Could I do 5, 6, 7, 8? You know, working towards where I was nearly able to resist for over 20 seconds. I just kept at that, and then eventually I worked on up and down. So I started again with a constraint there. So getting to about here, and then up, and then there, up, and then over time, getting down, lower, pause, up. Finishing off the session with 2 mobility exercises, typically. Today I'm doing the couch stretch, and I like this especially for a lot of the clients that have tight hip flexors, because they've very limited mobility around the knee, and this will help improve that flexibility in around the knee and the hip flexor. So ideally you want to have the knee as close to the wall as possible, toe pointed up, flush. You can stay in this position, and as you get more comfortable, opposite foot like so, and working towards you're getting upright, more up, upper body, shoulder, head, shoulders to the wall. Getting a lovely stretch here in the hip flexor, proving the elasticity around that tendon, so around that patella tendon, the knee joint, making it a little bit more mobile, which will help with any, not just tightness, stiffness at the knee, but also for the other exercises, the likes of our split squats or deep squats, that'll also help. This helps relieve any lower back issues as well, I've found with many of my clients. I like for around 45 seconds each side and switch. If you have the ATG knee mat, better again. Here, head, shoulders to the wall. Squeezing the glute that's working. So this right side is work. I'm squeezing that glute. This will help my hip flex to relax, and so I can get into a deeper stretch. Finishing off with Jefferson curls, which is one of my favorite mobility exercises because it hits so many areas. So having the slant board, you get a deeper stretch on the calves and the hamstrings. And we're also mobilizing the spine, lower back, and all the way down to the ankles. So just have the barbell here. First couple of reps, just trying to work towards barbell to floor. Calves are a little bit tight today. So every rep just going a little bit lower. Chin tucked in. 10 total reps. Looking through your legs. If you've got calf tightness, this is a real good one. Letting out the hamstrings as well. Now, that's the full today's session. Hope you enjoyed it. Any questions, leave it in the comments.